Here are 30 online reviews of the audiobook titled, The Baddest Bitch in the Room. Written and narrated by Sophia Chang. 1. Narcissistic. Maybe my expectations were too high? Or maybe I already have a reasonable relationship with hip-hop culture, so I gleaned no real insight from this autobiography. Chang's perspective on her pursuit of her children's father, who was also another woman's husband with no remorse, was disheartening. I found Chang and therefore her biography overall to be very shallow. I would not recommend it. 2. The title must be for another book. I wish that she had put more time into it. She accomplished so much. She helped organize these huge events, careers, businesses. But that's all you get. I wish that she was willing to be more insightful about how she was internally able to accomplish these goals. We hear the life story in terms of events, but I was really interested to hear about how she saw her life, why she made the choice she did. She was a small Asian woman? That's all? 3. Simply amazing. For over 20 years a dear friend of mine has been recommending books for me to read. So I was not surprised when I got a text from her with an article about Sophia Chang's new Audible book. My friend knows me, so she knows I love the Wu-Tang Clan, so when I read the text I immediately downloaded the book from Audible. This book is simply amazing. I haven't been inspired by a book in a while, but this one right here, Perched Lips and Deep Sigh, is everything. It is a deeply touching story about self-discovery, friendship, the timing of the universe, family, heartbreak and resilience. Dope job Sophia Chang once again. Great recommendation my friend. #Brown Girls Read. #Happy Nappy Brown Girl. #What are you reading? 4. Not too sure. I enjoyed the pieces of her life story that came through and felt she would have been just as amazing without reminding us of her connection with major celebrities or how hard she kept explaining her connection to celebrities and famous people. I felt it was just a book about name dropping with her life sprinkled in. 5. Great stories. Almost a great book. There was so much gushing about the artists I thought I bought the wrong book. I wonder what her book would have been like if she focused on her own, absolutely magnificent, story. It felt like the artists she admired/loved crowded her out of her own story. Was the book meant to parallel her life? I really would like to hear more from her about her though. She seems like an amazing person. 6. You owe yourself this listen. Like many Audible fans, I have dozens of audiobooks in my library, across multiple categories, and have enjoyed them many times over. That said, I'm usually content to submit ratings and rarely write a proper review. I genuinely cried, I smiled, a lot, and am inspired by Sophia Chang's memoir. In her telling of her life and work, she is ferocious, generous, funny, and vulnerable. You will recognize yourself in the many raw, authentic moments of the female experience she shares, but to say this is a book on the music business written from a female perspective is almost a disservice. It is illuminating, sharp, and bordering on an operating manual. If you were a fan of Lean In, this book is the 2.0 hip-hop version, and you owe yourself this listen. A singular experience and thus far my favorite listen of 2019. More like this Audible, more please. #Hustle Muscles. 7. She made me feel like this book wasn't for me. I was interested in this book initially because of the title. Great title for empowering woman. But as I listened, I was wondering if she was talking to me. Because I am a white woman. While she has an extremely interesting life story, her closing words really cemented my thoughts that because I am white, and may have gone through many of the same sexist situations, she isn't really talking to me because I am not a minority in color. I don't know if I missed something, but while she talks lifting women up, holding yourself accountable, making your own seat at the table, it's really for women minorities. That made me sad. I hope I am wrong, but I felt completely excluded by the end because of my race. 8. Now that's one bad bitch. Sophia Chang's autobiography provides a voice that isn't often heard. Whether you're a 90s hip-hop head, a child of immigrant parents, an Asian female who went against the grain, a single female dating, a mother, a rebel, a Buddhist, a martial artist, or struggled to find your place in a male-dominated work environment, or any combination of these things, you will find your story reflected in hers. Compelling narrative, and it's always fun to hear some of your favorite hip-hop heroes chime in for a line or two. I didn't fully know what to expect from this book, but she took it above and beyond. 9. I thought I'd be more interested in the subject. And I am fascinated by the music industry in general. I was hoping to derive inspiration from Sophia Chang because she is obviously a successful businessperson in a male-dominated profession. However, I could not get past the narration and how other characters popped in, such as Method Man's voice. It may have been easier to listen to with a professional voice actor. I am glad I gave it a try. It is intriguing, so I might try to read it. 10. Interesting meme you're marred by silly production. Sophia Chang's story is interesting, a daughter of Korean immigrant parents living in Vancouver, BC, who eschews her heritage until the most unlikely of friendships when she meets the Wu-Tang Clan. Outside of a bit hip-hop braggadocio swagger, Chang isn't so much the baddest bitch but coolest, as she navigates the double dose of testosterone worlds of hip-hop and record labels. Sophia Chang's story is interesting, a daughter of Korean immigrant parents living in Vancouver, BC, who eschews her heritage until the most unlikely of friendships when she meets the Wu-Tang Clan, which inspires her to practice Kung Fu where she ultimately meets a Shaolin monk and falls in love. It's predominantly a feel-good story, with love expressed, to the point of ad nauseum, for her friends. Despite its shortcomings, it's a unique story as Chang's life is fairly unconventional. 11. High expectations, but if you claim to be the baddest bitch in the room, you better have an epic story. Unfortunately, the book does not live up to the title. The stories were mediocre, not bad, just not great. Some of her prose just felt like she was trying too hard. I found myself groaning at this. Chang's reading was just okay. She took me out when she'd start getting emotional for one sentence and then her next sentence was completely unemotional. 12. Couldn't pull myself away. I've been waiting in anticipation for this Audible book to come out for ages. I first heard an interview with Sophia Chang on NPR 3 years ago that resonated deeply and I just wanted to learn more about her and her life story. As a Korean-Canadian woman myself, relocating to Atlanta and feeling like a fish out of water, the search for identity and also developing the unabashed power of expressing one's unique voice has been my journey and one that Sophia has lived with high drama and tells with such incredible force and deep emotion. Thank you, Sophia, for sharing your story. I will be re-listening again and again to feel inspired and empowered, to tell myself, fuck it, I am the baddest bitch in the room. Thank you. 13. Are you kidding me? Where have you been? I know, inside. Burning inside. I've only made it through 1 hour 44 minutes and I knew I would be listening to this 11 times over from the first 30 seconds. Connect to this. Explore this experience. See what resonates and what doesn't. I've really opened myself and found the resonation doesn't stop. I feel you. I don't know you as I know me, but I know you just a little more now. Thanks. No, really. Thank you. I get it. Creative expression of anger is a thing. Let's break that down. Creative expression is okay. Spoiler alert. 2 hours 6 minutes. Chapter 3, Enter the Wu-Tang. Whoa. 14. That unseen W tattooed across our hearts. In this fresh, gripping, and candid memoir, Sophia Chang delivers a veritable tour de force. As epic in its sweep as a great Bildungsroman, this biography takes us from the Canadian Pacific to the mountains of central China and of course the city that never sleeps, a central character in and of itself. This is also a deeply personal, sincere, and emotional account of one woman's quest to build herself in the city of her dreams. They say never meet your heroes, but in the Wu-Tang Clan Sophia not only met, but indeed helped forge, her legends. This tale will resonate deeply, not only with hip-hop fans, but with all lovers of music and indeed with all the newcomers, daughters, and sons of immigrants who dreamed big dreams and fought to see them come to life. To quote Sophia, part of being the baddest bitch in the room is owning it. Own this book, buy a copy for a friend and share the love. 15. Hearts. Seeing ads for this book with Sophia Chang's badassery skills caught my eye and had me listening to her story. Having been only a little familiar with Wu-Tang and not Sophia at all, I was quickly intrigued with her story and loving every single thing she has to say. I'm 50 years old, but when I grow up I want to be just like her. 16. Written from the heart. Sophia Chang, with unapologetic frankness, gives the reader a glimpse into her life and career working in the music industry's hip-hop genre. Being South Korean and raised in Canada, as she approached life with her heart, she formed unlikely friendships and alliances with others whom she recognized as approaching life as she does. The results were highly productive relationships, and friendships for life. Such is the case with her and the Wu-Tang Clan among others. This book is deep, rich, and hard to put down before coming to the end. Prediction: this book will become required reading in certain English literature classes. There will be a film based on this book. How can there not be? 17. Sophia truly is the baddest bitch in the room. I admit I usually listen to other genres. But reading the promo snippets prior to its release, growing up on hip-hop, and especially on Woo, I still go see them when they come to Philly, I had to get this book. And I'm so glad I did. I've never read a book like this, read is in quotes because I have plus 450 Audible books, and my kids jokingly question if it's really reading, always with the bunny ears. But in this case it's true, I didn't feel like I was reading, listening to, a book. I felt like I was sitting at a table with Sophia, listening to her personally tell me her amazing story, while having the integral people who are part of the journey pop in here and there to emphasize their part and their love for Sophia. Her confidence is contagious. Her determination and tenacity is palpable. Her growth, inner reflection, and discipline is admirable. This book is an experience, which leaves you reflecting on your own journey, to strive for more, and explore how to do it on your terms, so you too can be the baddest bitch in the room. 18. A groundbreaking memoir. Sophia Chang is breaking new ground, and this memoir is a must-have for anyone interested in race, gender, business, music, the immigrant experience and on and on. It is also done in a unique and engaging and searingly honest way. Chang pulls no punches and speaks truth after truth about herself and the world around her. And the memoir has so many amazing cameos I could barely keep up. 19. Message under false pretenses. This author is way too arrogant and full of herself. Very annoying listening to her laugh throughout the storytelling. I get she's telling a message of confidence and self-worth, but come on. From what I heard so far, the author still has some growing to do. Don't be proud of being the baddest bitch in a room. All that tough exterior tells me there's a sad, insecure girl in there. 20. I was misled. I couldn't keep listening. I picked the book because I thought it would be an interesting view of hip-hop history by an insider. Although portions of the book detail her involvement with Wu-Tang, it's more a biography of her life where Wu and hip-hop play a small portion. Eventually it leads down a melodramatic road about the failure of her marriage. After listening to 75% I finally couldn't take it anymore. 21. The baddest bitch in the room. I enjoyed how Sophia put this audiobook together. I saw commercials on Hulu while I was watching the show called Mixedish. I thought she was fashionista or martial arts expert, so I addressed up the info on Hulu and then Audible. I purchased it to listen. I thought it could have been better. It's not what I thought, but it was her story. I felt very sad because it seems she is addicted to black, talented, sexy men, but she had kids with an Asian guy Yaman who was a martial arts master. She didn't seem to take as much time writing him and cheering him on as she did Chris, Derek, Grizzly, Method Man, and etc. Also it seemed she used the artists she told them to stop calling when she was with her Asian man, but this story is depressing but interesting that she worked with these groups. I had no idea who she was, but I know at this time. I'm going to try the fragrance she mentioned. It was cool to see we are familiar with pop culture, phrases from back in the day. She found herself by being around Wu-Tang Clan, which is a musical group. These types of jobs pay very little money but seem fun and exciting. She said rest in peace a lot. But as we grow older we lose friends, family, and acquaintances. 22. Baddest bitch certified. God, Miss Sophia. You're amazeballs. If there is any celebrity right now I'd like to have lunch with, it's you, girl. I loved your story so much. Thank you for being so real and the courage to be vulnerable in order to convey the true emotions I felt as a listener. I could go on and on about how much I enjoyed being a part of this for 7 hours, but I know I'd reach my comment limit. You killed it, seriously. And there will be no need to pull an O.D.B on stage because I have a strong feeling you'll be called up to accept that much-deserved award for this epic piece. From a fan across the water in Hawaii, much aloha to you and your clan. 23. She's bad and she knows it. I admit that the provocative title made me want to read this book. Ms. Chang took us on her journey through hip-hop. An Asian woman making it big behind the scene was fascinating. It shows that music in all forms is universal. Music makes strange bedfellows. Speaking of that, I'm glad Ms. Chang made it a point not to be a groupie. She kept things professional and that made me appreciate her story more. 24. Wonderful book. It's very entertaining and inspiring book. Very open and honest story of a woman with wonderful spirit. Even though I don't know much about hip-hop or never knew its stars, I still could relate to the author's story and liked it very much. Thank you Sophia Chang for writing it and presenting it in such a wonderful way. It never felt like I am listening to an audiobook, instead it felt like my good friend Sophia is talking to me about her life. Very nice performance. 25. Not enough time spent on her work in the music industry. The beginning and end of this book were great, but the middle portion was so irritating. I was hoping we were going to hear more on her work and how she was the baddest bitch in the music industry. I did not want to hear about her personal relationships and marriage struggles. I was quite surprised how much the baddest bitch needed men to take care of her and give their approval. She gives some really insightful and inspiring words at the end, which made me happy I stuck it out, but this book missed a really great opportunity to be something special. Side note, I did enjoy the production of the audiobook. There's a dope conversation with some of Wu-Tang in the bonus materials that was more of what I wanted in the actual book. 26. Outstanding in every way. No matter if you are a fan of hip-hop seeking to gain insights into the earliest days of the Wu-Tang Clan, or a parent who seeks to raise bold, indomitable, grounded, and loving daughters who grow up to make the world better for their presence, or a woman seeking inspiration for how to blaze their own path and find their own voice, this book has much in store for you. It's 8 hours of great content that is very well made. Worth your time and your money. 27. Eye roll. I was all in for most of the book. Got excited when she recounted picking up Kung Fu. Sincerely felt totally disheartened at this story after storyline of how these black men were her safe space. How they protected her. It was painfully disgusting. Do any of those same men pledge that level of allegiance to any other woman in their circle? I've never seen it. Why is it always someone who doesn't look like your sister or niece that has the opportunity to move in this world with that wind beneath their wings? WTF is that about? 28. Riveting and deeply moving. What a story. What a life. So many interesting stories of so many interesting lives intertwined by deep love, respect, talent. To be embraced by Wu-Tang and have a front row seat and supporting role in hip-hop history in the making is beautiful and divine intervention. I couldn't stop listening. I wanted to experience each moment, each event one after the other without interruption. I could feel every emotion. It also made me painfully aware of life wasted and time lost by not being brave enough in my younger years to break free from traditions and inhabit ions and use my youthful energy and hunger to take risks and pursue my dreams while giving myself permission to learn and make mistakes along the way. 29. Hard cringe. Spoiler alert. If this is the baddest bitch in the room, then I need to make sure to never go back there again. This story was painful to read, and not because I was moved but because I was bored to tears and couldn't stop rolling my eyes. Her deep connections to various men throughout her life just come across as her fangirling and gushing over any male attention that gets thrown her way. I don't understand how a woman who so brazenly got involved and had children with someone who was already married could even suggest that she's for the empowerment of women. The phases in her life were largely based on whoever she was into at the time, and she barely touched on the creative process or lessons learned in her career. This was a vanity project. She should have just stuck to her dancing Instagram videos. Not everyone's story needs to be in print. 30. Great story that's still evolving in the best way. The narration flowed beautifully, like I was catching up with a friend over drinks. Having known of Sophia's career from when I was a teenager and she was just getting started in hip-hop, I was excited to hear about her evolution. And evolve she did, many times over. Her ability to articulate the nuance of her love for family, friends, and career is so introspective and so involved, that you almost feel like a voyeur. This might be planned because she wants you to know that she is definitely the baddest bitch in every room. This isn't a how-to for the music industry. She's not explaining what to do. She is telling the world how she navigated and pivoted one hell of a career, and she's not done yet. I do not know Sophia, but this book made me feel like I do. It's the kind of raw honesty we all need to have with ourselves and each other. Thank you for watching. Please, do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Tune in for more online audiobooks reviews.